today, and man, Sam's got so many good ideas. I said, man, Sam, you could prepare a speech for 15 minutes, and we'll put a governor on you, and you could just stretch that out for 45. He's just fast talk. But anyway, Sam, we'll turn some time over to you.
Okay, is this thing on?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So at the beginning of this summer, or in the springtime rather, I got the wise idea one day. I was out and actually hanging out with my wife and her in-laws or my in-laws, her parents. And I thought, it'd be kind of interesting. I knew that I lived a lot closer now to work, and for the first opportunity in my life, I'd be able to ride my bike to work. And I thought this would be kind of neat. And so I was kind of doing some quick math in my head, and I thought, wow, I wonder if I could ride 1,000 miles or 600 miles on my bike this summer. And that may not sound impressive, except that I'm not a cyclist, and I was riding a mountain bike, right? So this is not someone riding a road bike that does this sort of thing all the time. So it might sound a little bit more impressive. And I said, well, I leaned over to my wife and I said, well, I wonder if I could ride 600 miles this summer. And she said, well, how about 1,000? And just up to me right there. So my brother heard that my wife had challenged me to ride 1,000 miles on my bike, and so he is a cyclist and does ride one of those several $1,000 road bikes. So he decided to challenge me to a race to 1,000 miles, which is a little bit of a joke because he could easily win if he tried. I think he was just trying to encourage me. So I'm an Android fan. I have an Android phone, and I used it, an app on it that Google has produced called MyTracks, and I use it to record my rides. I rode to and from work a lot, and also other rides on Saturdays and things. And it has a feature that will upload your ride stats to a Google spreadsheet to keep track of how you're doing. This was really handy because I'm really bad at writing things down. So I finished my ride, hit upload to Google, walk in the building, and it was already in the spreadsheet. So what I did was I hooked up the spreadsheet to a Yahoo pipe, and I extracted out of it the total information for what I had written recently. And then I actually put it on my personal blog so my friends and family could follow along. And this has been off my blog for a while, but I was asked to revive it to show it real quick, and if the screen comes back, I will. And so I was able to create so I created a card called Sam Rides 1000. And I actually put this on my blog. It says just what I got to say up at the top. You'll see it actually replaced in just a second with what my progress is. And so I was able to put some logic in there that did some things like if I hadn't ridden any miles that day, it didn't give you a daily total, or the same thing for the week and same thing for a month. And because of the colder weather, I clearly have not been riding recently because I have no miles for the month. But I did in fact make my 1,000 miles. And Kynetx gave me a really easy way to take this information and place it in a temporary way on my blog. All I had to do was plant the Kynetx tags like you would on a site on my blog, wrote the quick application, and there it is. So for me, it was a really easy way to share my riding progress this summer with my friends and family.
How about that, Sam? So, any questions from you guys for Sam? You guys just get this.
Let's see the code.
You want to see the code? I will show you the code.
Jam and Sam.
So I'm in a competition for Jesse. So who has the most cards here? Okay, so. So this is the code that I have that actually displays this. Let me go to the data set, the data source first here. So I had two that I pulled in. The first one is directly from Google, and they allow you to extract single values out of a spreadsheet, but not multiple values in JSON format. So I had two things that I used here, and this one actually pulled from this particular spreadsheet the grand total of what I was writing. And the one down here you can see is a call to the Yahoo APIs that actually runs it through a Yahoo pipe to extract some additional information out. So there's two data sources I'm using there. And then on my blog here, I've got the URL up there, and I pick out the day miles, week miles, month in total, and then construct a message here using conditional expressions based on whether I had daily mileage or whether I had weekly miles. And then all I did was replace that little tagline I had on my personal blog with that message that I had constructed. So this is all the code to run this, excluding the Yahoo pipe, which you saw embedded in the URL there. But But that's all there is to it. It's really not that complicated, which is actually why I did it using Kynetx, because I wanted to put it up. Didn't really want to spend any time because I had plenty to do work, and it was a good opportunity to use it. Any questions about how I'm doing this, or? Yep.
I'm just wondering, the code for these, and there's cards online I've seen, but I haven't been able to see any code for these cards.
Yeah, so lots of these don't, and like this one I had forgotten about until someone asked me if I'd done anything interesting with it, and I offered to resurrect this one for the conference to offer as a demo. We can. There's stuff I'd want to strip out of here because I still use that spreadsheet, and I don't want you to be able to get back in and edit or anything. So, or see how pathetically few miles I've ridden recently. But we do have the ability to publish source code. When you publish your apps to the directory, you have a checkbox that gives you the option to publish the source code as well so that other people can browse that. And we are working towards getting more of these examples that we've created for the conference up online so that you can view the source code. We think that there's a great opportunity for people who want to create things for utility use by anyone or just kind of playing around the application for sharing. We definitely intend to play along in there.
But right now we can't see any of the source for any of these, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, and if you write applications, that source is protected at the same time.
I believe Sweeter is open source.
Yeah, Sweeter is an open source, one of our
Where
open
can we
source
find
ones.
that?
Apps.kynetx.com, I believe.
Appdirectory.kynetx.com.
I think apps redirects there.
Either one of them works.
Hey, Sean, where do we get it?
There's a pause. I hear a pause from the back
You'll
room.
get it off the new development
You'll notice
website
it.
tomorrow.
Yeah, good answer. You'll be able to get off the developer website tomorrow. Sean will put it there. Great. Any other questions?
Got another one over here.
So in this app, you used Google Maps API to return the single value
Google spreadsheet, not maps.
Google spreadsheet,
Right.
And you used their API to retrieve these single values in JSON format, right?
Correct. Well, it was actually in text format. I cheated because if right now with the data set, if it's not JSON, it's text. So it actually just extracts the one cell value.
Okay.
And I just pulled that one cell value out to use.
All right. So if you don't have an API of that sort, will you need to write your own kind of scraper to get the data that you need in the JSON format, or do you have a solution for that built in?
Not yet. We don't have a full-featured scraper that you can use where you can easily provide things. We've definitely considered that.
Right.
But it's relatively, you can actually write that sort of thing with pipes directly to be able to pull in HTML in and then grab the elements that you want and stick JSON out and then consume it with what we have.
Okay.
So in the meantime, you can do pipes, and if you come up with a great example of what you want to do, we want to hear about it, and we'll consider throwing it in the
So
runtime.
what have you done when you write apps when there's not a nice JSON API available?
You mean where the data is?
Right.
So far, we've used Yahoo Pipes internally.
Okay.
It's been a nice way to like work on the stuff without having to fall back and make sure we support every data format in our own API. You can consume, for example, like an Atom feed and turn it into a JSON feed trivially inside of Yahoo Pipes. It's very easy to use.
Okay.
Cool, and there's one over here.
Another question. Yeah. Do you have any application that's more interactive that asks for the input of the user and you take that input and do something?
We don't actually have a lot of those, and that's partially because we just haven't had tons of people ask for those. We've been getting more lately, so those are going to come out more. The other thing is that we've recently added, one of the problems with keeping your demos up is that when Phil keeps adding things to the language at a faster rate than we can produce demos for them. And so there's things in the language now that we don't have, shiny demos for because we've only been able to use it for like a week. So although we've known about it in advance and we know generally what it's used for, we just haven't been able to think of that really great example like
If
the
any of you
clear
have a
print.
cloning technology we can use to clone Jesse,
We'd love 5 Jessies, actually. We would really appreciate that. If some alternate universe Jessies, I'm not sure.
I'd like a couple, please.
Yeah, we would really like a bunch of Jessies. So it's probably solve our economic situation too. We got to tell Obama. So yes, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
It's no, but it's coming soon.
Going back to the weather example, pulling the weather information and saying, warm today or sunny.
Okay.
On the fly, can you choose? Let's say you want the temperature and you want, something else with the weather.
Okay.
Can you change that? And then right now I only want the temperature. But later I want the temperature and
You mean later as in the rule dynamically figures that out, or you just want to edit the application?